land being one of the contentious issues in our country, it's good that we have a boss of the Liberia Land Authority here talking about some of the issues. Just a while ago, I was sitting in my office and he was talking how even over the weekend he received call about land issues. When he go to service on Sunday, he received call about land issues. That tells you how contentious the sector is. So we admit that we have a challenge. There's a lot to do. There's a lot to be done. But while the policies are being made, the people who are leading that effort, we have to always speak to the public so that people, the Liberian people can know that the government is not just sitting down and doing nothing about regulating the land sector. So, Honorable Kpakio, we want to welcome you and your delegation to the Ministry of Information. Of course, our own friend, Mr. Lulasin Faya, who is a freelance journalist, a strategic, how you call it? Strategic We want to welcome you, my friend Tete. Where's Tete? Tete and I want to. We attended undergraduate school together at AMIZA University. But before we speak to the Land Authority boss, we just want to show light on some major developments happening across the country for the benefit of the people. It is good for us to always talk about the positive, even though some of our friends will insist that nothing is happening. But we know, as a country, that we are better off than what we were 2 years ago. Looking at the energy sector, the efforts have been made to expand it, new communities, new homes are being connected, communities that never experienced electricity for close to 3-4 decades are now being connected. Riverside County, since the foundation of this country, can now boast of electricity. Key cities in Riverside being electrified. So you can know that something is happening. Because even those who will argue that nothing has changed, I guess someone can put a generator on this now. Because you know, the thing about generator, when you have it, and you don't use it for a while, the day you go start it will create a problem. So even those who argue that nothing has changed, I guess someone are not using generator again. They're using electricity, LEC. When you see the Autopause campaign in the rural sector, being led by Mr. Giddings and a team of competent deputies, then you know that something is happening for our country. You know that something is happening for our country. When you see your foreign minister seated in the White House with the Secretary of State of the United States of America, then you know that something good is happening for your country. And you see key policy actors in the government, the education sector, the health sector, making moves, attracting new investment, then you know that something good is happening for the country. So, as I speak to you from behind this microphone, I want you to reimagine the country. Every day we can talk politics. Politics will not improve the livelihood of the people. What will improve the livelihood of our citizens, our people, will be determined by the step the government takes to addressing some of the age-old problems we have had. And we'll do it now. The things we were talking about yesterday are not the things we're talking about today. That's how you know progress has been made. Because yesterday was like civil servant could not be paid 3-4 months. So that's not an issue. That's not an issue today. Yesterday we were talking about government health facilities across the country being out of jobs. Today, that's not an issue we're discussing. We're now talking about building new medical facilities because the current ones have never ran out of stock. For 2 years, they have not run out of stock. On the international front, you can tell that progress has been made. When your country being elected to sit on the Security Council of the United Nations, the highest, they would say, the bookman would say, the echelon of global decision making. Liberia is there. We know we're talking about isolation. We know we're talking about sanctions. We'll be elevated on international front. Pipe water. Cities in the rural areas being connected. The sector has been expanded. And you know progress has been made. Rome was not built in the daytime. What I will leave with you is that you can determine that progress has been made because the conversation of yesterday is not the conversation of today. What we are discussing now are far different from what we were yesterday. So the United States published what I term as the United States Department of State published the investment climate report on Liberia. We'll talk about it here briefly on Tuesday. But the entity that is responsible for investment in Liberia, the NRC, has formally responded to the report, which I do believe was very positive to a greater extent for our country. Even though, again, some people say it was a negative verdict for our country, but when I read some of the positives, how the report even laid out sectors for possible U.S. investment in Liberia, the projection of the growth rate in the economy, and everything the government has done to fix things in the country, I can conclude that the report was positive. But here's what the Investment Commission said. The National Investment Commission extends its appreciation to the United States Department of State for publishing the 2025 Investment Climate Statement on Liberia. The Commission welcomes this comprehensive evaluation of Liberia's investment environment and value the objective perspective it provides for global investors. The statement acknowledges both the opportunities and ongoing challenges in Liberia's business climate, which is true. Notably, the statement reaffirms that the National Investment Commission has consistently communicated to investors that investment is not a one-time event, but a process of continuous engagement, due diligence, and collaboration between investors and the government of Liberia. The report recognizes key challenges related to infrastructure, electricity costs, bureaucratic inefficiency, while commending the government's commitment to institutional reform, accountability, and transparent investment governance. All of these are central to President Joseph Magwaga's Arrest Agenda for Inclusive Development, the AID. Cumulatively, U.S. firms now represent more than 5.7 billion in active and prospective investment interests in Liberia. I read that again. Cumulatively, firms from the United States of America now represent more than 5.7 billion in active and prospective investment interests in Liberia, spending the multi-billion-dollar Liberty Corridor projects led by Ivanhoe Atlantic, formerly HPX, to new ventures in energy, healthcare, and education. Institutional progress and results. Honor His Excellency President Joseph Boaga's administration, Liberia achieved measurable progress in strengthening its investment climate, marked by improved institutional transparency, an uptick in high-level investor visits, and greater clarity in regulatory and licensing pathways. Key achievements include renewed investment interests in large-scale energy infrastructure projects, supported by clearer policy direction and stronger public-private collaboration. Removal of moratorium on investment incentives in June 2024, signaling the government's readiness to rejuvenate investment inflows. A growing pipeline of investment projects facilitated through the NRC's engagement, models reflecting the government's practical focus on the investment process from introduction through feasibility to execution. While acknowledging continuous challenges, the National Investment Commission concurs with the U.S. report that further improvement is needed in infrastructure, power supply, and ease of doing business. The government remains committed to accelerating reforms to address these gaps and to strengthen investor protection framework. The NRC notes that investment is not an event, but a process. The NRC values Liberia's partnership with the United States and the broader international community in recognizing Liberia's progress. The NRC notes that under President Boaga's leadership, the government's priority is clear: to create a transparent, competitive, and inclusive investment environment that benefit both investors and the Liberian people. So the people who are responsible for investment have spoken. We have to read the full text of the statement at the issue because it is very important. Even as we improve the road infrastructure, expand energy, provide salary top-up for civil servants, strengthen the police, reform the courts. One thing that is key is how many jobs the government can create in the private sector. And to that end, investment is very significant, it's very key, and hopefully help us to control Liberia's system. Some improvement have been made across the health sector, and GFK is no exception. We're now moving from paper-based to e-hospital, and that exercise has kicked off with the information system, the hospital management information system. They're moving from paper-based to e-hospital. And it kicks off with the hospital management information system at GFK. Toward modernizing healthcare in Liberia, the John F. Kennedy Medical Center has taken the lead in public healthcare system by kicking off a technical working section that will lead to the deployment of its long-awaited hospital management information system. This development marks the beginning of the GFK's transition from paper-based record to a fully digitized e-hospital platform. The system is an initiative being spearheaded by Liberian tech firm ATEX Technology in partnership with international digital transformation company ATLO. A full-scale system deployment by ATEX Technology will empower the GFK Medical Center to digitize patient records, empower the GFK Medical Center to digitize patient records for improved accuracy, security, and faster access to medical data, streamline hospital operations by automating key services such as admission, billing, pharmacy, and laboratory workflow. It will also enhance decision-making through advanced analytics that support evidence-based management, support healthcare staff by minimizing paperwork, and improve user experience, and ensure robust data protection by applying global cybersecurity standards to safeguard sensitive health information. The European Union, in partnership with the government of Liberia and its International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, the IRTA, has officially launched the Land and Soil Resources Knowledge Project. It's called Source for Liberia. It is a landmark $4.6 million initiative intended to strengthen Liberia's capacity for sustainable land and soil management. The project is funded by the European Union delegation to Liberia and is being implemented by the International Institute of Tropical Agriculture, IRTA. It's a 4-year project and will support the development of the Liberia Land and Soil Information System. It is a comprehensive data-driven platform designed to improve reliable and up-to-date information on Liberia's soil and land resources. The Agricultural Research Institute, the Central Agricultural Research Institute, the University of Liberia, and several government entities such as the Liberia Land Authority, Liberia Agricultural Commodity Regulatory Authority, LACRA, National Investment Commission, Environmental Protection Agency, and the Forestry Development Authority, among others. Hundreds of professionals and students are expected to benefit through training, research support, and institutional capacity building over the project for the 8-month duration. So while efforts have been made to expand LEC across the country, we're living in a time where transitions are being made from hydropower to renewable energy. And so the Rural Renewable Energy Agency, the RREA, has signed a $5.5 million grant subsidy agreements with the Rural Solar Incorporated to expand access to solar home systems for 6,900 rural households across 14 counties. This project is on the Liberia Electricity Sector Strengthening Access Program, LISA, and will see each household receive US $35 subsidy to reduce transportation installation costs. The project is co-funded by the government of Japan in a total of $3.05 million, and a World Bank IDA credit, $2.5 million to support Liberia's push towards clean, affordable, and decentralized energy. The program targets counties including Grand Cape Mountain, 2,200 households, Bapolo, 1,300, River G, 805, Grand Crew, 400, Sando County, 305 households, Maryland County 405 household benefits. Maggie 255 household benefits. Grand Juliet 355 households with benefits. Mosurado County 150 households. Nimba 200 households. Lofak 155. Grand Marshall 105. Riverside 100. And Bond 105. Beyond the household electrification, the project will also fund mini grids, solar street lights, and public facility installation, strengthening Liberia's rural energy resilience and advancing national electrification goals. Lastly, before I invite the LAA boss to the podium, we see on the market every day that there are expired goods on the shelf of federal entities. So the Ministry of Commerce and the relevant entities of the Liberian government, namely the Liberia Food Authority, in collaboration with the Ministry of Health, has ordered an immediate halt to sell, distribution, and consumption of a pasted tomato mix. This product is manufactured by a company based in Ghana. They have stopped them from selling this product in Liberia. Section 26.2 of the Public Health Law, Title 30, prohibits trade in adulterated food, and Section 39.4 and 39.6 of the Health of the Ministry of Health Act 2017 authorizes the ministry to undertake preventive measures that promote public health. Additionally, Chapter 12 of the Food Authority Act 2009 authorizes the entity to regulate food safety in Liberia. This action follows food safety violations uncovered during routine inspection and laboratory testing conducted by the Food and Drug Authority of Ghana, the Liberia Standard Authority, Ministry of Commerce, and the Food Authority of Liberia have confirmed that several batches of the product contain dangerously high level of bossic acid, undeclared additives, mold contamination exceeding international safety standards, high salinity, erasable expiration dates, and lack of batch number and barcode. The founding constitutes adulterated and contaminated food under the public health law, and is therefore within the authority of the Food Authority of Liberia to record such contaminated food. What does it mean? This suggests that vendors, supermarkets, distributors must remove all affected products from shelf and storage immediately. 2, customers who have already purchased this product are strongly advised not to consume it. Better still, you can return it to the point of purchase, from the point of purchase. So it's for your own safety. That tomato paste is called a pasted tomato mix. See, it's not good for consumption. That being said, I will now take my seat as I invite to the microphone the head of the Liberia Land Authority. He will make his presentation, and then as protocol dictates, we'll entertain questions from our media friends, and we'll respond to the questions. Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Minister. Thank you very much for a wonderful introduction.
Please allow me to recognize one of my commissioners who decided to join me and to give me the support. He is Uriah Gassini, Commissioner for Land Use and Management, and also with me, which of course are well-known journalists, freelance journalists, Rudolph Fire, who is our consultant at the Liberia Land Authority, with Mr. Morris, who works within the chairman office. And behind me is the Director for Communication at the Liberian Land Authority, Mr. Tete. I just wanted to thank you for the time that you all took to accompany me at this briefing. Honorable Minister and the dedicated team at the Ministry of Information, members of the Fourth Estate, colleagues in public service, friends, and fellow citizens. It is truly an honor and a pleasure to be here once again at MICAP to update the Liberian people on the progress and the ongoing developments at the Liberia Land Authority since I assumed leadership together with my team in the month of February of this year. Let me begin by expressing my profound gratitude to His Excellency Joseph Numa Boakai, President of the Republic of Liberia, for entrusting us with the responsibility to serve our nation through the effective management and transformation of the Liberia Land Authority. The Liberia Land Authority is undergoing a pivotal phase of institutional reform and transformation. As chairman, I have had the privilege of leading and supporting several key initiatives, mostly the completion of a comprehensive set of new regulations designed to strengthen our institutional framework and improve service delivery. Distinguished members of the press, I am pleased to reaffirm that the Land Authority remains steadfastly committed to the Liberian people and to the full implementation of the government arrest agenda. While we continue to face challenges, it is important to emphasize that sustained support for the Liberia Land Authority and indeed for the broader land sector will yield significant long-term benefits for our country. Such support, yes indeed, will enhance our capacity for revenue generation and stimulate economic opportunities. It will contribute to national peace and security and improve land governance, transparency, and accountability, laying the foundation for sustainable growth, social cohesion, and responsible land use. Ongoing efforts. In practical terms, our current priorities are focused on streamlining land administration processes, including mapping, deregistration, and land valuation, resolving land disputes, to promote peace and stability across all 15 counties, strengthening land tenure security by formalizing customary land rights and issuing statutory deeds, empowering communities and landholders to invest confidently in their properties for social and economic development. Key achievements and new initiatives. Ladies and gentlemen of the press, in alignment with our vision to transform Liberia's land sector, ensuring equitable access, tenure security, and effective land management, the Liberia Land Authority Board of Commissioners is proud to announce the launch of a new national deed form. This new form will be officially introduced to the public on November 1st, 2025, with a transition period concluding on December 1st, 2025. Additionally, the Liberia Land Authority has developed and introduced several critical policy instruments and operational guidelines, including 1, interim guidelines for temporary occupancy permits, formerly known as squatters' rights. 2, interim guidelines for validating travel certificates. 3, interim guidelines for the sales and lease of public land. And 5, a new fee regime for land-related services, incorporating applicable fines and charges. Accountability and enforcement. We are acutely aware of public concern regarding unlawful land activities. In response, the Liberia Land Authority has launched an investigation into allegations involving one Mr. Blamarites, including illegal land transactions, land grabbings, and the use of threats or force against residents, particularly in the communities of Carwell, Johnsonville, Louisiana, White Plains, King Farm, and many other surrounding areas around Monrovia. Mr. Rice has submitted himself for investigation, which is currently ongoing. The public will be duly informed of the findings and any subsequent actions taken by the Liberia Land Authority. Capacity building and strategic partnership. Thanks to the generous support of the government of Sweden under the Sustainable Land Services for Liberia projects, we have successfully completed automated dispute resolution called ADR training for officers in 4 counties, strengthening their ability to manage complex land disputes effectively. As part of the projects, 12 motorbikes were procured for land officers across 6 counties, improving both field mobility and revenue generation. We have also stabilized and operationalized the existing version of the Land Administration System, LAS, review and approve standard operating procedures for de-verification and provided logistical support to our IT team. Additionally, equipment such as laptops, scanning devices have been procured, and Starlink Internet have been installed in Grand Bassa, Mangibi, and Bong County to enhance services delivery. Furthermore, on September 26, 2025 of this year, with invaluable support from the United Nations Development Program, the Liberia Land Authority facilitated the official handover of customary land deeds to 23 communities across Nimba County, Grand Cape County, and Bobby counties, marking a landstone achievement in strengthening land governance and securing community land rights. Most recently, on October 16, 2025, the Liberia Land Authority signed a 3-year memorandum of understanding with South Korean firm All for Land and Lee Metrics. These partnerships paves the way for the development and implementations of the Liberia Land Information System, a modern digital platform designed to revolutionize land administration, increase efficiency, and promote transparency in property management. The Liberia Land Authority also represented Liberia at the African Land Institutions Network conference organized by the Rights and Resources Initiative, RRI, and the African Land Policy Center, held from October 14 to the 16th of 2025 at the Buntumani Conference Center in Freetown, Sierra Leone. This high-level gathering brought together over 100 delegates from across Africa and beyond, including land governance experts, policymakers, civil society leaders, and development partners. Under the theme, Strengthening Land Institutions for Inclusive Growth and Resilience, the conference underscored the urgent need for robust, transparent, and people-centered land institutes across the continent. We were proud to share Liberia innovations, policy solutions, and the community-driven approaches to land governance, particularly those empowering women, youth in customary communities. It was indeed gratifying that Liberia's Land Authority was used as a case study for other African countries. We acknowledge that we still have a long way to go, but we are making steady and measurable progress. In conclusion, the Liberia Land Authority remains unwavering in its commitment to transparency, accountability, and service to the Liberian people. Together with the continued support of our government, development partners, and citizens, we will build a sector that promotes peace, ensure justice, and foster sustainable development for all Liberians. I thank you all.
Thank you very much, Mr. Chairman. Before we move to questions, while the chairman was in flight, we witnessed the arrival of the head of this embassy, the Honorable Jerome Kpakio, who just returned from the United States last night, where he had gone to attend the conference. So the Agile conference in America, Minister Pia just returned from the States. He was there to attend that conference. He will make we can't welcome the minister back home because this is the minister's base. But as a way of having him back here, we'll now take a brief remark from him before we entertain questions. Mr. Minister.
Good afternoon. It's good to be back and to see all of you doing what you all know how to do best. I'd like to congratulate you on the successful conduct of your elections that brought to bear new hopes of officers. And I would like to particularly congratulate Mr. Mokulu, who I'm told was the winner of the elections. And I'd like to encourage all of you, including the other side of the election, that the elections are not over. You are one group of people, and you must continue to work together. Don't allow the elections to bring division amongst you all. It is important. What makes democracy sweet is the fact that someone must win, someone must be the loser. But in the end, the loser or losers and the winners will all come together and work, if it's for country or for your organization. I know as I was following, there was one outstanding, because strangely there was a tie for the secretary. Have you resolved that?
That's on the job.
You are not only?
After the press conference, we'll run up.
Oh, do it before the press conference. All right, but let's hope that that too will end well. Like Minister Sando, first let me thank Minister Sando and the acting minister who's not here. Let me thank particularly Minister Sando, who has been holding the torch in my absence. I believe that the deputy minister has fitted well into the role given him by the president. I don't expect that people in the public will agree with everything he does or say. Because you see, when you can do everything perfect, then you are injured. And I'm not sure any of us here are injured. But the most important part is what makes somebody else cry, brings smiles to another. Whatever you do can make some people happy and make some people sad. Which side you fall on is okay. We take it in good stride and we'll move on. But I think overall, Minister Sando has been good. He's been standing firm and doing what somebody in his chair will do. And I know that because that's a role I played before. I used to be the Deputy Minister for President Public Affairs. So it's a very familiar territory. So thank you, Mr. Sando. Yes, I was in the U.S. I traveled with the President. We attended the UN General Assembly, the 80th section of the Assembly. Then we went for the Diaspora Conference in Washington, followed by a town hall. And your umbrella group that is in the U.S. called the Association of Liberian Journalists in the Americas, AJA had invited me Mr. Minister of Information as a special guest, and the Minister of Finance and Development Planning as the keynote speaker. So we both had to wait to participate in the convention. We attended, and we headed back home. I arrived here late, in the conference room, because I thought to do a couple of things this morning. First, to go to LEC and sit down with the management team. Fortunately, I met 3 of the managers, on Fredericks, and so. And we had some wonderful conversations. Then I proceeded to see folks at the Ministry of Public Works. You will wonder why immediately upon coming home I chose to see those 2 groups of people. That is because this dry season, we see immense work taking place in our country. Basically spearheaded by those 2 entities. I've lived in Broadway since 2011. When I arrived at the airport, time it takes to get the baggage and all of that, I arrived in my neighborhood around 11. Across VOA Junction. That's the last place before I left that you could see light. As I crossed the rest of the stretch, leading all the way to Kpakio corner where I was supposed to bend to my house, fully lighted. The street lights. That was not what surprised me. I took a bend to move into G4 Road where I live. And that entire community was as brave as a heavenly city. I just reflect a little bit and remember that I said I moved there since 2011. And that place has never seen light. From 2011 up to now, I have used generator those number of years. I was in the States when they were doing the mapping, customer registration for meter and house-to-house connection. And they called me there. The house is registered. The meters are about to be installed. For the first time since 2011, I will have the chance to switch on the light, not based on my generator power, but being sourced from the power grid. When I met the folks at AIC this morning, before Christmas, from the airport to ELWA Junction. Maybe when you're driving on the road, one of them told me you would not have to put your car lights on. Because they would line the light pole on side by side, so the entire corridor will be bright. Also, before that time, for the first time since the end of the war, they will also light the capital city of Monserrado County, which is Bento, has not seen electric power. Even though Bento is very close to the hard road and some of the places that do have current. The IEC also informed me this morning that the extension of their power grid currently covers 9 counties. For me, these things look like miracles. Because don't forget, it's just 1 or 2 years since the current government was elected. And if we intentionally, or for the sake of politics, look at these things, And then somebody comes and says, since you came here 2 years ago, nothing has changed. And others expected that what we do in response would be to clap and sing Kumbaya. I mean, let's be practical. All of you here started, if not all of you, my you here started this term with us. And I mean, us, I mean the current team at the Ministry of Information. And you know what we inherited as a ministry? Before we came to where we are currently, we were doing strategic interventions. The whole place was leaking. We changed the roof. This thing we call conference hall was like a garbage. We changed it. Let's assume that nothing else happened, but we did only these two things: change the roof, change the conference hall. And one of you just wake up in the morning, 7 minutes of PI thinking here, nothing has changed. And I just want to say, hey, you're correct. Hey man, what about the roof that was leaking massively? What's about the conference room that was like a dump site? So all we demand, criticize us all you want. If there are bases for the criticism, push us. Because when no one is pushing you, you will not see the need to work harder. But don't manufacture falsehood. Point to the things that we're supposed to do that we have not done. We'll tell you why we've not done it and what we'll do eventually about it. But when you base the foundation of your politics on falsehood, then there must be reaction. I mean, some people can interpret it all kind of ways. I know all of you in this hall, you've never heard anybody stand on these podiums. In a typical Liberian war, you've never seen anybody stand on the podium called Marcos. But I watched some people say, it's up to them. Maybe they formed a new definition for what represents Marcos. I can change their mind about what they think. And the facts are there, and the facts will always be there. I'm one person who most times I'm unshaken to lose storms. You are all here. When somebody on a blue sky use their outlet, a radio station, a newspaper, and say, I assaulted a journalist. Maybe the only person among you guys who are very concerned, investigative, and stood up and saw somebody write out he paid was Desmond. He's the only person amongst you. And I think because he's got to know me. I kind of man whose mouth is as sharp as a double-edged sword. Assault somebody. And just my mouth can crush you. I'm the father of 5 children. In my measure to discipline them, one of them is 32, married. And my biggest daughter is 29. From the time they were born up to these ages, my method of disciplining them falls short of any hit. I've never beaten any of my children before. They are amongst the most disciplined. If the one I got control of, who I just take and beat them out. But I've never struck them before. And somebody called a journalist. It's a question I'm supposed to. But I think that I could brought this up because I wasn't here when all the other attending team proceeded. I thank the press union, especially the current leadership, for being different. Because in the past, some of the leadership that were just happy with the use of a pen who condemn before even thinking. This union said, we set a committee to investigate. The committee reported you about it. One thing was very clear. Your claim of assault against this man is a lie. Those entities have not been able to muster the courage, as well as those who are helping them to run with such a trash. Not even able to muster the courage to say, Mr. Minister, sorry, we were misled by our reporter. This is what is supposed to be an acceptable norm in our society. And the cherished fraternity you belong to can be used recklessly to destroy people's character. I want you to hate, envy, malice, or whatever it might be. That certainly is not what this profession calls for. There is a need that those who are friendly, I'm not talking about people who pass through, but those who chose this profession and who love being called journalists, can act jealously protect your profession. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Minister. By the way, to announce your return to the country. We will now take a few questions. Minister Pia has not been here. If you want to ask